who were gathered. So love is the theme today. Thank you, Sharon. All right. So now, everybody, you had a little glimpse of Anna, but I'm going to bring her back. She is our spark today. For those unfamiliar with the terminology, we like to call our speakers sparks because they're sparks of the divine. They spark our inspiration. They spark our joy. So Anna's going to share some of her own life story with us, some of her healing journey. But I did want to mention that she's an author. There are books that you all can get after the celebration here. She's an author. She's a spiritual healer, and she's a light worker. And I personally can't wait to hear the light language. So she's also a seamstress. There's scarves here, and she created her beautiful skirt. Is that your painting also? She paints and then she creates the fact, she gets the design printed on cloth. So she's wearing this beautiful skirt today.
This is Lady Gaia.
Lady Gaia. All right. So we have Lady Gaia and in the form of Anna today, and we welcome you to Circle of Miracles. Oh, did you guys hear this? This is turned off.
No, it was turned on, Cindy. Now we can't hear you.
There, now it's a green light. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the theme is love, but it's also light, as you will find out. Oh, that was what it was. Can we actually turn the sound on for music again? So that just gonna have that a couple of times. Thank you. Dear beautiful souls, hello and welcome to the Circle of Miracles. In this speech, I will share with you my story of transcendence. It is not that I wasn't whole already, but in this journey of my soul, I discovered an inheritance under murkiness. It starts with a song, for through this you will see my heart. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. My mom used to sing me this song as a lullaby, and it made me cry. It touched my soul. Music often evoked emotions to flow through me, and it seemed to be the only acceptable outlet for emotions. So I followed this path and I learned clarinet, piano, tenor sax, the list goes on and on. I'll just say it was nearly the entire orchestra. I earned 2 degrees in music composition, and I had a tangent in musicology. I thought I was going to be a film composer or maybe a professor, but the universe had other plans for me. I had a spontaneous awakening at age 17, and I quickly fell into a dark night of the soul. You see, I was always a channel. Through song and poetry, I evoked great emotion, but I also readily absorbed them. I was highly empathetic, a sponge for all that was unresolved in my family lineage, which was boatloads, it turns out. While in the dark night, I acted out many karmic and ancestral patterns, as we do, which were quite destructive. A part of me sensed that this vault of emotional baggage was coming from my ancestors, from my family. So I fled as quickly as I could, and I graduated high school in a merely 3 years. But the cords of grief and guilt held me energetically until one snapped. It was a miracle, to say the least. This was several years later, and I heard a voice in my mind literally giving me directions as I was driving. Go left, go right, left. I followed, and they led me to a park I had often visited, but I hadn't ever been on this trailhead before. I never knew that it was there. You see, I was in a tiz again about a decision, and this was the norm for me. Should I choose obligation and devotion to my family? My uncle had recently passed away, and I felt like I needed to attend his funeral. After all, it was what you do when you live in the Midwest. You attend funerals and you bury your emotions into potlucks. But back to the nature trail, the one I had never been on before. It was short, and it led directly to a stream that was freely flowing. I looked up at the banks, and I saw this beautiful, tall, sturdy elm. And I knew that it had a message for me. The peculiar thing about this tree was that half of its roots were hanging freely instead of planted in the earth. Yet it still was standing straight and strong. And at the same time, I got this message in my ear that I didn't need to be buried in their stuff to grow. One voice, whom I recognized as my uncle, said that he didn't care if I went to his funeral or not, and to take care of myself instead. And with that, I was free and open. I wept, of course, and started the journey of energetically detaching from my family. I took an ancestral healing course. I learned about cutting cords and many other energy healing methods. All the while, I was receiving messages clairaudiently. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I would pour pages and pages of insights, stories, and advice into my journals. So I could tell who I was channeling when I connected to my uncle, because his energy was the same. He even was joking with me, as he did when he was alive. But the beings that I was connecting with during these middle of the night, rants, hold on a second. Papers.
You can speak from your heart.
These beings were not, they were not my uncle. And I wondered who they were. So ask, and it's given. I found a deck of Archangel cards by Diana Cooper, and I started using those to figure out who I was connecting with. And I did this with a number of different oracle card sets. Meanwhile, I had actually renounced music. the music scene wasn't a good fit for me. And honestly, I was really burnt out by it. I was so sensitive, and that sensitivity had expanded so much that it was hard for me to be around people. It was hard for me to be around crowds. It was hard for me to be in dense places. And my soul yearned for healing of this. And I searched more and more. And I discovered all sorts of meditations, sacred teachings. I studied astrology, space clearing, all sorts of ways to connect with spirit. And some were very replenishing, and others taught me very astutely about integrity. My frequency rose as I let go of more and more of what wasn't truly me, until I uncovered a hidden childhood trauma, which was what my mother had been unsuccessful in healing while I was a teenager. I suspect that this is what she discovered when she fearfully gave up therapy and sunk into deep mental and emotional unrest. But seeing her give up was the thing that made me know that I had to go deeper into it, that I had to get help. And so I got help from an EFT practitioner, from a somatic healer, as well as many, many, many spirit guides and angels. And what I discovered was compassion. For there were many days in which I felt like the helpless, hopeless figure I had so often seen my mother as. And what lifted me out of it? Music. Not only was I singing in a community choir that got me out of the house and with other people, but I also discovered Lemurian light language as song that burst out of me. So although my meditation mentors absolutely assisted me through this process, it was the songs that came through me that brought about most of my healing. Since then, I have reconnected with my mother, although very briefly and still slightly from a distance. She is in the same place as she was many years ago. But the miraculous thing is that I have transformed. When we were having a conversation on the phone after not speaking to each other for years and years, I easily recognized and released the difficult emotions, the energetic cords, and all of that that surrounded our relationship. And underneath, I found pure love, which is what I was looking for all along. But the source of the love wasn't outside of me. It wasn't from her exclusively, because my spiritual journey had also led me to connect with my monad. This is the true source of love, my oversoul. And with this, I had embodied love in a way that I had never done before. And I had the light within me as well. And with this light, I could see the love now. I can hold light in a way that I could never do before. And through this journey, I have come home. And that is what I realized had brought tears to my eyes as a very small child, because I had felt empathy for little Lord Jesus, because he had no crib for a bed and he was asleep. But luckily, I too have always had the stars shining down on me. And so do all of you. And with that, I would like to share with you some more of my gifts. I have a message about from Archangel Butalel. And he is an archangel who works with Archangel Metatron essentially to orchestrate the movements of the planets and the cosmos in order for us to grow and heal in the way that we need to. So we all have a specific astrological birth chart, and in the movements that happen, everything is divinely timed. And so part of it is the workings of astrology, but the other part of it is that the solar flares that are happening now are bringing in a lot of light. And so he is one of the beings that is really like pushing the ascension and bringing more and more light to the planet. So I have a message from him, and part of it is going to include light language. So this is a way to bring through frequencies that doesn't attach to words. So they're not English, they're not any other earthly language, because as people, we put certain frequencies in the words that we use. And so light language is pure, essentially. And just want to make sure that I have things set up here. And just know that this message is, the archangels always set it up to be perfect for everyone in whatever means it's meant to be. And so if you drift off for a while and you're not thinking, then that's perfect, and let it happen. And if you come back and you really focus on certain parts, then that's fine too. So if you want to, you can close your eyes. Some people feel more comfortable with that. And I call in Archangel Butalel. Greetings, dear one, dear child of one. I am Archangel Butalel, the great and mighty archangel of the universe. I'm here to assist you with your shift if you wish to hear. Once upon a time, in a land beyond time and space, for it was really a beam of light, began. Yes, dear ones, this was the beginning of everything. There was a divine decree that was sent out by the one, and light was formed. Let there be light. Then, dear ones, we have a story to prepare you for the upcoming solstice of summer 2024. In the time of the Great Awakening, vast light codes are given to all who seek them. These pockets of light are measured in the physical as solar flares and are adjusted to raise the frequency of the planet, Mother Gaia, as you call her. She, dear ones, is a being whose time has come to receive a shift into another dimension. This royal accomplishment is assisted by all of you who have diligently been working at raising your own frequency, as well as the frequency of your surroundings. The people you impact and delight, as well as the energy of the ley lines of the planet. All these shifts are possible because of you, dear humans. Thank you for your service work It is absolutely seen and will be recognized soon. This is exactly what is given on the days following the solstice in the northern hemisphere you call summer. Rewards are to be granted in many forms, specifically in the form of adjustments to the physical. Discomfort may be felt initially for more who are radically changing. For others, they will be more subtle. So hear us, dear ones. You have come a far way on this journey of life already, and a magnification will be granted. Feel it. We know this sounds vague to you, but each and every one of you will have different forms of adjustments come forth to you. So we will leave it at that, a magnification. This, dear ones, is a final adjustment to come into fifth dimensional reality and hold keys of ascension. Now hear us loud and clearly. One, Divine One, is now offering its glad tidings to you. Receive them now. Alewa tia monia siwa tiwa ya te moni siwa. Alewa kuriti moni siwa. Haya kuriti moni siwa alea diwa tiwa moni tiwa nana siwa nana kuriti wa monana. Alewa tia. Alewa tiwa moni siwa alea tiwa ya tiwa moni siwa ya alea kuriti wa moni siwa alea tiwa data. Tiwa reti moni siwa. Alewa tiwa moni siwa alea kuriti wa moni siwa ya kuriti moni siwa alea kuriti wa alea kuriti moni siwa ya kuriti data. Tiwa tiwa timoni siwa alea tiwa alea timoni tiwa ya. Ele timoni tiwa alea timoni tiwa ya tiwa timoni. Ele kuti moya siwa ya tiwa moni tiwa ya ele wore tiwa moya siwa ya ele tiwa moni siwa. Hale tiwa moya tiwa. Hale tiwa timoni tiwa ya create moni tiwa ya ele tiwa moni tiwa ya create moni siwa. Oya siwaya moya siwa tiwa ale kresa waya monia tiwaya ale oya tiwaya kresa womani tiwaya ale oya tiwaya tiwa moni ure tiwa. Ale oya tiwaya ale oya moya tiwaya ale oya moya tiwaya kresa womani tiwaya ale oya tiwa moni tiwa. Ale oya tiwa moni tiwa. Ale oya tiwa. Ale yo se moni tiwa. Ale tiwa siwaya tiwale wale ayo moya siwaya ale tiwa moya tiwaya ni wa moya tiwa. Ale tiwa moya ta. Ale tiwa siwa moya ni tiwaya ta. Ale tiwa moya tiwaya kri tiwa tiwale wale tiwa yo moya tiwa. Ale siwa moya tiwa. Tiwa siwa ya ale siwa siwa ale siwa. Yes, why? Liwaya to I, Moya to I, Liwaya to I, you want to I. Hello, to on me, so. Liwaya to what you I, Liwaya to I. Hello, to Moya to I. Aliwa siwa moya to I, create to all me to I, Liwaya to I, Moya. Eliwa to Moya to I. Kaya luya tiwaya moya tiwaya luya kri tiwaya moya tiwaya luya tiwaya moya tiwa. Waya tiwaya tiwa moya tiwa. Tiwa is one. Alas, the fifth dimensional portal awaits you, dear ones. Utilize it wisely. It is always a choice, dear ones, and you will see how this is always true. However, when you choose to fully become fifth dimensional, you automatically choose to be of service to others. Good. Now, what awaits you if you decide to fully move into this reality? First, you will stay earthbound in the physical if you choose yes. Next, you will be granted clearing for deeds of karmic retribution, meaning your karmic field will be cleared in divine timing. Next, your worth will expand. What we mean by this is that you will merge with the divine part of you, who is your monad, in divine timing. This is the age in which you are one with many. Energetically, you will be aligned with your soul tribe and notice your soul siblings in the physical. Next, you will share your gifts of love without attachments. And finally, you will receive glorious divine dispensations. These are soul gifts in the form of what you need most for your own soul's sake. Some examples include rewiring thinking automatically. Others are given lifting of expectations from others, lifting of judgments, expanded love, inherent feelings of worth and value, a knowing that peace is here and now. These are just some of the many possibilities. Despite appearances, these are underlying all, so layers of conditioning will come off in divine timing. We hear some of you asking about divine timing. It is necessary for some that this take place gradually, for it's a radical shift. And the goal, as you would call it, is to stay physical in the body. This determines the rate of speed you are ready for, so adjustments may be gradual. This is the timeline given. All souls who choose this divine plan are orchestrated before the spark of light shown personal awakening and until the planet reaches the year of 2032. Therefore, you will have some people surrounding you who have chosen to ascend to 5D at a soul level. The choice is given to everyone, but still will remain physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually releasing their baggage for several years. Ends will transpire, but the dawn of the new earth is happening now, dear ones. We thank you for listening to this important message. The vast majority of you in this audience have already been aware of this shift, but this message we suggest you to grasp is from this is you are co-creators of this. Hold your frequency strong and high during this transition time and know that what you think, say, and do makes great impact. We invite you to hold this vision if you desire to. There is a wave of transcendent light bathing planet Earth. She is bathed in light, twinkling, shimmering, glistening, happily receiving love of the divine cosmos. And with this, she is impregnated with light. Her surface flourishes with radiant blessings, and a miracle has occurred. She has reached the 5th dimension. It is happening now through the dawn of the golden age. Now release expectations. We know this sounds opposite, but you see, this is the seed we will leave you with. The seed of creation. Envision with divine insight and let go of expectations. It is the way of the future. Practice it now for ease and grace in this new phase. And with that, we leave you to ponder this strange interaction, for many of you have never experienced light language. Anna commends you for listening, and we love you all so much. Remember, your heart has the answer. It is done.
You can stay here because we'll have some questions. Thank you.